You know that feeling, right? That deep, primal fear when you just can't see what's right in front of you. When the whole world just dissolves into this gray, silent nothing? Well, today, we're going to break down exactly what makes that so incredibly terrifying.
So this quote is from a driver on a super lonely stretch of Highway 101, and it just perfectly captures that moment where everything changes, that sudden loss of sight. It's the trigger for a whole different kind of horror. We're going to dive into this using 3 real stories from a driver, a runner, and a couple of kayakers who all got completely swallowed by the fog. I mean, think about it. When visibility drops this low, our number one sense, our sight, becomes totally useless. The world you know just vanishes. And the environment itself, it becomes the first villain in the story. You're not just in the fog anymore. You're suddenly fighting against it.
All right, so first, let's talk about how the fog doesn't just hide the world, it actively twists it into something hostile and completely unrecognizable.
And what's really fascinating is that across all 3 of these stories, totally unrelated people, totally different places, the fog attacks them in the exact same ways. It's like it has a playbook. It just systematically dismantles every tool they have for feeling safe.
This was the driver's reality on that highway. But it was the same for the kayakers out on Willapa Bay. And look, these weren't rookies. These were people who knew these places like the back of their hand. But the fog just wiped it all clean, turning them into total strangers in their own territory.
And it's not just our own senses that give out. This is where it gets really weird. Take the runner. He's on a trail he's run 1,000 times. He knows it's a 3-mile loop. But his Garmin watch, his hard data, his proof, it tells him he's run over 4 miles and he's still lost in the woods. That's when the terror really amps up, because even technology starts lying to you, confirming that reality itself is breaking.
So once the world becomes this disorienting, alien landscape, terrifying things start to appear. But the things that crawl out of the fog are never clear, and honestly, that's what makes them so scary.
The driver on the highway, he doesn't see some Hollywood monster. No, he sees something way creepier. Just a shape. A silent, still figure on the side of a completely deserted road. It doesn't move, it doesn't wave for help, it just stands there. It's the total lack of reason for it being there that is so unnerving. The runner sees something kind of similar. Not a clear person, but this towering 7-foot-tall dark mass. And it doesn't chase him, it doesn't attack him, it just stands at the edge of the trail and watches him go. Its shape is blurry, and what it wants is a total mystery.
But maybe the most chilling threat of all is the one the kayakers never actually saw. They just heard it, the sound of another boat's oars, following them for hours in the fog. The only proof they had was what it left behind, these impossible, fresh, wet footprints right on the shore, waiting for them where they landed.
And this just shows you, the horror isn't just visual. Oh no. The runner is being hunted by a sound that makes no sense, this low, droning hum that somehow keeps perfect pace with him as he runs through the woods. The threat isn't just something you see, it's something you hear, and it's all around you.
Okay, so this is where the real fight starts. Because when you're that alone and your senses are betraying you, the horror stops being about the outside world. It becomes about the breakdown of your own mind. The battle moves inside your own head.
Just look at the driver's inner struggle here. After he escapes, his brain is scrambling, trying to make sense of it, and it lands on the only logical answer. I must have hallucinated it all. It's a relief, right? Except that relief is completely shattered when he sees the undeniable physical proof, a massive dent in his rear bumper. The nightmare was real.
And then the evidence just makes things weirder. There's no paint on the bumper, so whatever hit him wasn't another car. The damage is real, but the source is a complete blank, which just erases any simple, easy explanation for what happened out there.
The kayaker's story is just a masterclass in reality falling apart. I mean, how could a slow rowboat follow them, disappear, and then somehow be waiting for them at the shore? Not only that, but knowing their exact unplanned landing spot and leaving fresh footprints? The laws of time and space just seemed to stop working. This was way more than just a trick of the fog.
And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial takeaway from these stories. The horror of the fog, it doesn't end when the fog lifts. It leaves something behind.
This quote from the driver just says it all. The real terror is the permanent doubt. It's that inability to ever be sure what was real and what was in your head. It leaves this permanent scar on how you see the world. You can no longer trust your own mind.
So it leaves us with this question, doesn't it?
What's the real monster? Is it the blurry shape you see in the mist, or is it the terrifying idea that our own senses, our own minds can betray us so easily, leaving us lost in a fog of doubt long after the actual haze has cleared?